Hey everyone, welcome back to Little Small Engines. In today's video, we're going to be getting a snowblower that's been sitting for about a year or so. We're gonna get it running again, and so let's get right into that. So, I guess this is part 2 of the MTD Snowblower. So in part 1, I'll show you guys 2 ways on how to fix leaking tires. So in this one, we put an inner tube, and in that one, we use that sealant over there to fix that one. And for instance, I'm just filming this video after I made the tire ones. Anyway, let's go. So I think this should be relatively easy revival because this machine has been only sitting for 1 year, not being used. It has no gas in it, which is a good sign because that means the owner obviously cared for it. So, and the oil's already clean, so I don't have to change that. So yeah, let's see if we can get it started. So the first thing we're gonna do is tip it up on end and pop off the carburetor bowl just to make sure everything looks kosher. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is tip the snowblower up like this. And make sure when you're doing this, if there is gas in it, make sure the gas cap's tight. And there's oil in it, so make sure the oil cap is also tight. Now tip it up like this. And now we're going to remove the carburetor bowl and make sure everything looks good and passes the Will G test. So to remove the carburetor bowl, I'm going to use a 1/2 inch socket on a 1/4 inch ratchet because it's nice and small. And there's no gas in there, so let's loosen everything off. Like that, and yeah, take off the nut. Oh yeah, all right. And as we can see here, the bowl nut, bowl bolt looks great. Wish that dog would be quiet. Anyway, looks great. You can see through the holes, I think. Yeah, you can see through the holes. It's hard to see on camera, but you can see through it. You can see through all the holes, which is important. You want to make sure you can do that. And now we're going to pop off the bowl and make sure everything looks good in there. And usually, if the jet looks good, the bowl will look good, but let's see. Be careful. And yeah, it looks perfect inside. Gonna set that down and look inside there. It looks good to me. Make sure the gasket's on the bowl still. And I might spray a little bit of carb cleaner in the holes just to clean it out. So I got some carb cleaner here. I just got this one, it's cheap, whatever. It doesn't matter what kind you get. Spray through there. If you want, you can use air as well. I like using air, or both. And I'm going to use this brake cleaner instead because the carb cleaner's out. So let's go like this. Clean it out. Get in the holes, and make sure you're wearing your safety glasses. And also spray the bowl out to wash out any junk. Clean it up like that. There we go. And you're going to want to be easy with the brake cleaner because you don't really want to get it on any rubber parts because the brake cleaner is strong and it eats it away. And I will just spray off the little jet here real quick and not point out my face. There, get down the center. And when you're getting down the center, make sure it blows out through both of the holes. You'll see that in a sec. Kind of like that. Yeah, make sure it blows out through both of the holes. And now we're going to reinstall this. And on the Tecumseh, so the bowl, as you can see, has this little indented part here. Make sure that this indent goes where the float attaches. So in here, it'll go like this. Push it on, and make sure when you do this that the bowl gasket remains on the carburetor. And if it doesn't remain on the carburetor, make sure that you push it on because you want a good seal with this. You don't want a bad leaky seal. So I can feel it and it's good. Now we're going to tighten this up with the ratchet. Go nice and slow, nice and even. There we go, nice and snug. And now I'm just going to get a towel and wipe it off real quick. All right, I wiped everything off. Now we're going to tip the snowblower back over, put some gas in it, and see if it runs. And then after we see if it runs, I want to give it a wash with a degreaser because in the next video, we're going to be painting it because I want to sell this thing because, to be honest, I like a variety of machines. So, yeah. All right, so now we're going to gas it up. And I found this fuel system cleaner tune-up stuff that I had on my shelf. So we're going to add this as well. And let's check the gas cap, make sure it's good. And on a Tecumseh, you want to make sure that it has a little metal dish in here or else it'll vent. I mean, if yours doesn't have the little metal dish, The replacement cap you buy doesn't have one, but that's just an improved one. So yeah. Okay, so gassed it up. Now we're gonna prime it and put the choke on and see if it runs. Oh, and I dumped in the rest of this cleaner just because it, hasn't ran in a while. It might clean it out better. So choke, throttle about half, 3 primes, and if it leaks a bit of air, that's normal. So let's see if it runs. Oh yeah. Okay, so as we just saw, this thing runs pretty well, and I also showed you guys the auger works, so that's good. And we have to, and I don't know if you could tell when I was pressing the lever, but the wheels weren't spinning. So now what I want to do is take off the couple belt covers and check the belts to make sure they're looking okay and everything's working. And if they need to get replaced, we're going to replace them in the next video, because this video was just getting the engine running, and the next video is going to be the belts and probably washing it off and that sort of thing. So to get the belt cover off on the front, there's 2 3/8 bolts. There's one here and there's one on the other side, and it helps to have a long extension like this to get it off. All right, so I removed the belt cover, and the drive belt, which is this one, looks to be in pretty good shape. But I was looking at these ones and they look like they need to get replaced. So in the next video, we're definitely going to replace them. So let me find the bad spot on it and I'll show you. I think it was this one actually. Yeah, it's like, one sec, take my other tripod. So right there, as you can see, the teeth are missing, and there's another bad spot somewhere else on here. Yeah, it's like right there, a whole whack of teeth are gone, so that's not what you want to see. So in the next video, we're definitely going to be replacing them, but for now, let's put the belt cover back on, and we're gonna check the bottom cover. All right, for fun, I'll start it up on low speed to show you guys what it looks like when the belts are going. But yeah, be careful if you're gonna do this. Don't run on full speed, because you never know what could happen. So I'm gonna put it on low throttle and idle and pull it and start it. All right, now let's tip the snowblower back up on its end and take off the bottom little pan. And I'm also going to reinstall that cover. Alrighty, so I tipped the snowblower back up on its end, and to look under the bottom cover, there's usually 6 bolts, but I think one of them fell out, so there's going to be 5. There's one there, and there, and they're the same size 3/8 socket as the other belt cover. All right, so all the bolts are out. Now it's for the moment of truth. Pull this off of here, and all right. And I see the problem is the drive disc is worn out, so I'll show you guys that right now. Oh, and remember how I said make sure the gas cap's on tight and don't leave any gas in it? Well, I didn't do that and it's leaking out, but whatever, I don't care. I'm gonna repaint it. So what I mean by the drive disc being worn out is when I pull back the drive lever. Actually, wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. Actually, I think it is worn out. So what I mean by the drive disc being worn out is this rubber ring here doesn't have enough rubber left on it to make good contact with this plate here, and that's what drives your snowblower. So this ring has to be in good shape for it to contact this, and when it's all worn out, it's not gonna maintain good grip. But anyway, yeah. Actually, wait a second. What? Okay, so I've made a realization, and it's not the drive disc that's the issue, but it probably still could be replaced. Anyway, the problem is this gear is no longer attached to this axle here. This just spins freely. So when this is like out here, the wheel is supposed to spin with the gear, because with the gear not being connected to the shaft, it's not going to drive the wheels. So now I got to figure out how to attach the gear to the shaft, because I have no clue how it came off there. I think it has to do something with his pin, but let me figure that out. Okay, so I think what happened is, I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a little key under the gear that holds it on the shaft and locks it in. And to get the new key in there, I think I have to take out this pin to slide the gear over to the key. And so what I've done is I've snapped it off one end, and I'm going to punch it out with this little punch here. I'm going to go on top and punch it out. And there it kind of goes. And I'm going to keep doing this. And basically, I'm going to keep hammering this until it falls out. Okay, you guys, so as I mentioned, I'm going to take this old pin, but first I think I'm going to grind it off flat here so that I can drill it out, because I tried punching it out with this little thing here and it wouldn't come out. So what I'm going to do is grind it here and there nice and flat, and then get a drill bit and go through the hole to make a new hole. So yeah, and I'm going to use this angle grinder. And I know this isn't a grinding wheel, but it should work okay. Make sure we wear your safety glasses when you do this, because, yeah, common sense, you know? All right, guys, so I've come to a conclusion that I'm not going to drill out this pin, because I don't have the drill and the drill bits I have probably aren't up to the task of drilling through that hole. So what I'm going to do instead is just weld it up and leave it at that. So, yeah. And when I weld it up, I'll take pictures and put them in some video, or maybe, I don't know. I'll weld it up around here and that'll be good enough. So I'm gonna leave it at that. So I know this video kind of, I would you say, snowballed into something else from getting it running to looking at the belts and stuff. But anyway, there we go. That was part 2 of the MTD Snowblower, and that was getting it running. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you think I deserve to subscribe, please hit subscribe, because it greatly, it makes me want to make more videos. It helps me out making more videos, because when I get more subscribers, I know people are actually watching and learning, and not just skipping over my videos. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. See you guys next time on part 3 of the Snowblower.